Good morning, everybody. Really good to be with you all here in downtown Brisbane. Now, what I would normally do at Esri is to take this opportunity to show you where I see GIS technology pushing the boundaries across the globe. Kind of, a bit of a market scan and provide you with some insights. But this year, I thought I'd talk about something a little bit closer to home and share with you some of the things that we're doing at Esri Australia. Now, I think you probably all agree with me that in the broader market out there, GIS is usually recognised as a fairly innovative technology, right? And gauging by what we see coming from local government, from our land management agencies, from our defence forces, and from our utilities, I think all of you out there are doing your part to innovate with the ArcGIS platform. Now, as a member of the spatial community, I think that it's Esri Australia's responsibility, well, actually probably our obligation, to start to add to this growing pool of inventive spatial thinking that's starting to develop here in Australia. So that's why about November last year, we set up a new division in our company, which we're calling the Innovation Lab. And the directive to Gary Johnson, who runs the Innovation Lab, and his team, was really straightforward. I want you to think differently, push the boundaries, and consider that there's nothing off the table in terms of innovation. Now, we gave our Innovation Lab such a broad objective to serve two goals. Firstly, we wanted to create this environment where innovation could thrive, but we also wanted innovation to become the core of the way our business worked in the future. Now, at the beginning, that seemed like a fairly tough ask, but I have to admit that driving innovation through inventive spatial thinking has been nowhere as near as hard as we all had imagined it would be at the start. Now, I think that's probably because we do have a bit of an advantage because GIS technology at its core is in fact a disruptive technology by itself. Now, you know, and I know, that with GIS, we can basically automate any workflow that's out there quickly and efficiently. And essentially, the way we approach innovation is through a very simple formula. What we do is we look at operations, and we look at ones where we can leverage the science of geography and use that to address inefficiencies that are in that system. Now, this has become easier because a lot of our peers out there in the spatial industry want to innovate with us in the same way. So essentially what we're getting in many cases is when we're trying to drive innovation to digitally transform organisations, it really comes down to just listening to the ambitions of that organisation and then underpinning the organisation's vision with inventive spatial thinking. Now, to date, we've been able to innovate around operations that involve workers in the field, collecting, sharing, analysing, and receiving data based on location. But probably our most important innovation to date has been the development of this tool that's transforming the way that local governments, utilities, and other complex organisations are managing the way they do capital works. Now, the driver for the Smarter Works product was actually to address the common and costly problem that is the mismatch of timetabling. Now, how do we know that we should be innovating around capital works management? Well, that came from listening to the Brisbane City Council, the City of Perth, Queensland Urban Utilities, and members of SOC, which is the Street Opening Coordination Council in New South Wales, such as Gemina Gas and Sydney Water. They told us that we should be innovating around capital works programming. Okay. Now, in my mind, innovation is a dish best served amongst friends. Because when we come together and we bring our knowledge, our experience, and our ambition, then really anything is possible. Now, I know that this is a sentiment also shared by Jack Dangerman, who's the president of and founder of ESRI. Now, Jack is committed and passionate about growing the GIS community here in Australia and also ensuring that GIS is underpinning the growth and development of more connected, more sustainable, more safer, and in particular more smarter communities. Now, it's this commitment to the science of GIS and the role it has to play in a country's development that's motivated Jack to commit hundreds of millions of US dollars to providing free software to schools right across the globe, and including here in Australia. Now, as well as aligning with Jack's initiative with our own school program, at Esri Australia, we're also committed to investing in the science of GIS. However, our focus is a little bit more here and now. Now, as Jeff said before, my responsibility, as well as Esri Australia, is also for a group of companies that are collectively known as the Boustead Geospatial Technology Group. And besides other companies, that includes Esri Singapore, Esri Malaysia, and Esri Indonesia. Now, I'm happy to announce that over the next 3 years, the Geospatial Technology Group will be spending $15 million on projects right across the region aimed at driving innovation through the science of GIS. Now, we're excited about this because this is the largest investment in innovation that we've made in the group's near 40-year history. And what this represents is just not the value that we see in the science of GIS, but also the faith that we have in professionals like yourselves continuing to build better workplaces, better communities, and better environments with your command of the GIS technology. Okay, so on that note, let's get today started, shall we? I hope you enjoyed today's program, and I look forward to you unleashing some more of that inventive spatial thinking out there. Thank you very much, and enjoy Esri.